Hey, Internet. Glad I caught you here. Just wanted to give you a little insider information. You know, little hot goss, your eyes only. So we've seen me, do a bunch of mining. We know how that looks. I've done all kinds of mining. Frankly, it's to the point where I'm thinking mining is getting kind of boring. So I've proposed a little rule change that I think is going to make everyone happier. So what I'm talking about here, I'm pretty much at the limit of my skill level when it comes to ship-to-ship combat. This is admittedly not a realm that I have a ton of experience with, and it's to the point I need to really be able to experiment and try things and see what works. Now, this has been a survival series, and I prefer playing in survival because I think it adds actual, challenge and risk. But there are some drawbacks, mainly in that it takes a lot of time, especially at the stage I'm at now, where I need to try building another massive capital ship that's even better suited, I think, for combat. There's a bunch of stuff I want to try and do, but it would take a ton of time mining resources that I just don't have. My new plan is to change the rules a bit and treat this whole scenario a bit more like a ship of the week. So, when I am here at the base, I can have creative mode tools enabled. That means I can just, place blocks, do whatever, build a big ship, whatever I want to do. That ship will be subject to survival mode rules, so things like batteries draining, needing hydrogen fuel, and all that stuff. So it is still a survival world. What this will mean is that when I go off to combat the Factorum, I'm still faced with the same challenges, and when I am not at the base, I will be disabling creative mode tools. So I can't do any cheating once I'm out and about. That means I need to prep everything still like I would. I'm basically just cutting mining out of the loop. I'm acting as if I have infinite resources at base. So with that, we are at base, so we'll enable creative mode tools. Oh, I should mention too, because of the not having creative mode tools when I'm not at base, if I, say get mostly defeated and have to try and escape, I can still end up in a situation like with the baby beluga where I'm having to, crawl my way back because, and I'm just gonna do this, I have the power to control myself, I'm not going to allow myself to respawn. I'm not going to allow myself to cheat to get back to base to go and retrieve ships. If I survive an encounter, but I'm stuck in space struggling to get home, I still have to make it back here. It's only if I get killed by something else or, screw up, that I'll end up back here. So as I briefly mentioned, my plan for today is I'm going to try designing a new, bigger, more powerful combat ship. Now, I like the Stingray. I like it a lot. But the Stingray just doesn't have the damage output I think I need. I'm still going to try to go for essentially massive heavy hitter ship. I think my best course of action is if I can confidently fly in, start doing damage, and just, survive hits. Let's go ahead. I'll have to move this to a different docking point. Alright. So as always, the thing I'm going to start with here is the core of the ship. So that'll be the sort of engineering section. I should probably build it off the stalk here. I'll give myself plenty of room because I have a feeling this thing's gonna get pretty big. There we go. We'll start building comfortably outside the gantry. I think we'll start... We'll do 4 jump drives. All aligned with a gap down the middle. And then... So for the area they take up, small reactors are better. Well, at least in terms of output per, block area. Because you can fit 9 of these guys would be the same, same density as one large reactor. They produce more power with 9 of them than one large one. But I don't know about fuel burn, and frankly, trying to fit 9 of these around... Well, actually... No, never mind. If I do like this... That is 12 of them. I need another row, because I was thinking of having 2 large reactors. Well, we'll start with that. We'll fit more of these in. I do like the dispersed power generation, because it means hopefully I can limp home even with some power targeting enemies. So, okay, let's get some other bits back. I've got a fair bit of hydrogen production here. Some oxygen tanks all piped up with the piping connecting those. I think... How do I want to do this? Let's build out more floor. Actually, so I started this with light armor, and my thought was, well, I should probably use light armor on the interior of this vessel, because that saves a little weight. But actually, the idea is to have this thing be very sturdy. As much as it feels excessive, I think I'm going to build it entirely with heavy armor. Whoops. Okay, that was one block beyond what I should have disconnected. But thanks to the power of creative mode tools, I can fix this easily. There we go. I think that's fixed. So anyway, with that there, I can fit a hydrogen tank. Yeah, that's still plenty of room to walk around, so that's good. I may go ahead and pipe this up from underneath. That may give it some alternate connections as well. Okay, so that's both sides connected to fuel. I can stick main cargo off the back of that, and then we'll do our basic refinery and assembler trick. So refinery there, assembler there. Okay, I think this is a pretty good engineering core. So we have a bunch of gyroscopes, got cargo, I may actually... I'll do cargo somewhere else. I want more hydrogen. My plan is to have this be a hybrid fuel vehicle, so it'll have both hydrogen thrust and ion. And that should help with maneuverability. Especially because it's going to weigh 2 tons. Well, actually, probably many thousands of times over 2 tons. But anyway, we have fuel storage, reactors, we got ice processing, got various tanks, we got some things. I'll need batteries in places as well as a couple more reactors. This should do the job. I've also been leaving gaps where conveyors are. I don't know if I'll need all these conveyor connections, but it's handy to know where they are so that I can make use of them as needed. I think next up, let's figure out the front profile. I think it's going to be further... Oops, to line up everything. I think it's going to be further forward. There's going to be more room up here. And I think... Okay, so if this is the front, let's assume... this stuff. Oh, and because I'm doing creative mode stuff, I can use mirroring, which is handy. I think I'm gonna sculpt the shape I'm thinking of, and then work it into... well, work the design into it. Ooh. Uh-oh. I did forget the old oxygen. So that is some proof that even though I'm creative mode building, it is still a survival game with all the normal trappings. Which also means I can be shot and killed even, you know, even when I'm not intending to be. Alright. Well, that is a shape for sure. It's a little awkward in places, but it's pretty menacing. It definitely won't fit in the gantry. And that should work alright. So this is all heavy armor. And if we look, it's hard to see. The shell, the front should be 2 blocks thick. And these areas, so I'm going to have a deck above and below engineering, much as on the Stingray. But the walls are much thicker. So there'll be basically a block and then an angled block. And up here will be 2 blocks thick of heavy armor. So that should hopefully help protect the interior a good bit. I've obviously planned some thruster fittings. I did move the front whole thing back a bit because it was getting a little too long. Which kind of gives it... I don't know, I wasn't sure as I was doing it, but now that the shape is done, I kind of like it. I think it's cute. Pudgy. That's what I want, is a pudgy battleship. So the thing to finish up here, these 2 wings, the same philosophy of the Stingray, I'm going to have a bunch of guns on these. The difference is, one, these are all going to be artillery cannons, I believe. And there are going to be more of them. Yeah, that's enough room for an artillery turret. I could even... maybe I go one more forward. So there is our first artillery turret. Then I want my repair welder. So it'll be there. Then Just run my tubing. And I should... be able to put another artillery turret here. Yeah, so that'll be 8 turrets. All kind of targeting in. I want some more turret points various other places, but we can figure that out later. And to keep conveyoring somewhat simple, I can run the conveyors for the second gun through the welder of the first. Like so. And then this is probably a bit wasteful. In fact, it is a bit wasteful. We'll have the second welder pipe coming off the first one here. If I can figure out, there we go. We'll do an angled bit, and I'll cover up most of this stuff with plate anyway. That way it is protected. There we go. Heavy armor plate protecting everything. I can as well. Now that I know the extent of these guys. Yeah. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Ooh, and... even more firepower. Run that up there. Have some Gatling turrets on the tip. Now, another perk of creative mode tools. When the sun goes away, no it doesn't. So okay. This is looking pretty good. I think the next step here, I'll go ahead and fit cargo. I should just need the one container. Then I've got these side areas, which are mainly for thrusters. I do want to fit more welders in while I'm thinking about it. So I'll have a welder there, and then one there, and that'll keep all of these thrusters going. I think the next major section, I'm debating whether I want drones or if I just go straight to missiles. I'm honestly kind of tempted with missiles. I don't know. See, the issue, I've tried the drones a couple times, and they do all right as a distraction, but I don't think they're doing very much damage. I think they're just kind of going out there and getting shot. Now, I could design better drones, I suppose. Or Maybe I try... Actually. Actually. That's what I'll do. How do I want to do it? Yeah, so somewhere back here, what I'm going to do, I'll set up missiles. I kind of want several. My idea here, if there is a something, I can launch a bunch of missiles that are essentially going to be a distraction while I, you know, fire on it heavily. I think missiles are the best bet. I'll probably do it along the sides here. Let's extend this out to a good looking spot. Yeah, that feels like a good length. I don't think I'll end up needing those. So we'll have a wall cut in here. So this area, of course, passageway. I can maybe fit... Well, I can fit more thrusters down the side for maneuverability. So I have this be missile bays. Oh, I think I want to do this. It's risky making them compact, but I think it's going to be my best bet. Yeah. So, if I do like that, each of these 1x1s will be a missile. That means I need to set up a system in here to print them. Will involve doing this. Well, okay, it won't involve doing that. I guess that's one way to get more power when I need it. Yet another benefit of creative mode. I don't care about that body because there's nothing in it. Anyway. So I think what I'll have to do is that and that. And those welders should be able to weld an area up here and down here. Though... I think I'm going to push this whole thing one block along. Because if I'm going through the process of all that... I might as well just have 2 walls of welders. That'll ensure that things actually line up. Actually, you know what? It's much easier to do this now. I'm going to do a quick sciencing test. Which I can do here. So here I have 2 rotors with small heads. What I'm going to do... is not that. If I disable creative mode tools, I should actually need to re-enable them, spawn in a bunch of steel plate. Now I disable. Now I place unwelded steel blocks down the middle of each row. And then I need a few on the far sides. So if I pop my steel plate in there and turn on these welders, I'm going to see what actual area they're welding. Because if this orientation works, that's much cleaner than this. Go ahead. I don't need that row regardless. So I'm either doing it like this, where the welders are 2 blocks away pointing straight at, or I can stick the welders sort of just under. So let's try this first. Right. Okay, that did not do the job. So now we'll try this setup, and hopefully this one gets this far block. That'll be the challenge here. And it did. Alright. Well, slightly more ugly, but this is probably the best bet. So we have our 4 rows of welders. We have 4 rotors. I may do this with hinges. No, rotors are fine. I like hinges because they have slightly more strict tolerances, but with the orientation of these rotors, it shouldn't matter because the missile can spin, you know, along its axle. It'll still go straight through the hole. And if I don't get all the sides, I can always spin the missiles to print them. That might be a little... it would be silly, but it may also be necessary, depending on how well I designed this. So anyway, on each one, we will have a projector, then a merge block, and that should be close enough that I then have room for welding. So that'll give us 8 missiles that we can launch in a salvo. And I guess I'll design them to fire straight out and then stop pushing for a while and then lock target so then they shoot off forward. It should work out alright. Okay. Actually, I may leave this section here, but I think that's the last sort of structural section. So the rest back here will be the engines. So a nice ion engine block with 2 hydrogen boosters. I do want... where best to put it? Maybe here. So we'll have some hydrogen sideways thrust. Basically, we'll have 2 ions in each direction, and then hydrogen boosting for forward, sides, and potentially lift. Alright, I've done some slight reworking to the body. I've given it... no. I've made it look sort of like a little 4-legged creature or a very weird man. It's got little arms and little legs. But I think it breaks up, breaks up the body nicely. It all flows pretty well. The big old mohawks are still mohawking. Also giving myself a bit more room. I realized I need an airlock. So I think the airlocks will live up here. I changed the angle of these thrusters mainly so that I can run piping here. And a secondary benefit of piping is I can use this flat area for guns. So I have this area, which I've cut out, and I'm going to have passages down. That leaves me with 4 blocks from some of the inner passageway out to the outer hull. Let's maybe put those in. We'll disable this. Nope. There we go. Disable that plane of... That was the wrong plane of mirroring to disable. There we go. So now we're only side to side mirrored. I think all of the up and down shapes are done, so that'll be fine. I'll use the corridors because I like them better. They have all the lights and things that I'm gonna want. So the decision here is gonna be how I run this piping. So I can connect up to conveyor through this
Energy
welder.
low.
If I have the conveyoring run above the airlock, that makes the most sense. But I kind of want a connector somewhere so I can dock up to, you know, all the docks as I would normally. It's going to need the piston deal anyway, because if I have a turret here, that's going to block things. So if I have the piston there, the connector will be sticking out, which I don't love, but it might be smarter. But I don't love it. But no, if I this is gonna get tricky. I think I'm gonna have to do some weird stair things. Gonna put that there, because even though I will be cooking things with the side thrust a little, I think it gives better clearance. I can have doors there and there. Use our full block vent. Like
Energy
so.
critical.
Then do my old upside down passageway trick. Now the trick is going to be, I have this area of passageway, and this is the door.
No energy.
I need, of course, stairs that get me up to this upper level if I want to go through this airlock at this height. Would it... Maybe it would be better to do like what I've done on other ships. Drop this down to these levels. I kind of like the slickness of it being tucked in here, and I have the room. I think I can make this work because I can go up a block. So, if I have my conveyor running up to that level, it's then connecting in line here, which is good. This is getting complex. So I need to fit a welder in here. I don't know, do I want another... I don't really want another big gun on this side. I think I want a medium. So an assault turret instead of an artillery. I think I'm going to sprinkle some assault cannon turrets around the ship in general. So that hopefully I can... Like there would be good. So that hopefully I can defend myself. Part of my idea here, I want to be able to do a lot of, you know, face-on firepower. But I also need to be able to take out things that are coming at me. That's been the biggest issue with some of the other ships. I've not been able to fight enemies without bringing my full guns to bear. Basically, I need this thing to defend itself with turrets without any involvement. So from every angle, it should have enough firepower that I don't, you know, get destroyed by drones as often. So to do weldering, I could, if I put the welder here, will it reach? I can test this, I believe. Oh, and actually, I was thinking one off. This will fit where it is and work. So I have that there. Those there. The welder will be able to weld that block. I can't cover this welder up which I don't love. But it's already kind of right next to another little industrial thing with the connector. And I don't know what the hitbox on this thruster is, but with the hitbox of that where it is, and the fact that it'll keep the blocks around here repaired, it may actually help avoid any clang issues. So with those blocks where they are, can I didn't actually think this through very well. So I was originally thinking do that, then walk up. The issue is, where does this pipe go? Because I kind of need it to circle around to these. Of course it can't get there. So if I drop... Oh, whoops. That was stupid. I forgot that that's where that was. I'm beginning to think it would have been easier not to be able to use a cheat method and to just use merge blocks, because this is getting awkward. Just have to get myself out of paste range. Ha! There we go. Yeah, this gantry. Not only is this gantry next to useless, it's now actively causing issues. That's fine. So with the piston there, I can do the conveyoring like that. Then connect all this stuff up. I can't remember if these can get repaired by welders that are directly under them. I should be able to find out, though. So that is set to run conveyoring. If I put this steel plate in, turn it on. Yep, perfect. Doesn't look very good, but it'll do the job. And, ooh. Maybe I keep this second welder here too. It'll be a second welder for this thruster, which is a good thing. But it is potentially in target
Energy
of
critical.
You know, that welder could get taken out if this assault cannon gets destroyed, whereas this inner one will still keep the thruster working. I don't think there's a harm in having multiple welders on things. Could be wrong, but I don't think. How does that look? I mean, it's not the worst or the best, because that doesn't really look like floor, but neither do those. We'll call that good. And it has 3 sides covered instead of the other one that has
energy.
I guess they have the same sides open, but it looks better. More flush. So that is that done. I think it looks pretty good. I could do some work to cover up this, but I don't know if I will. I don't think I care enough. Having it clear is generally better for, you know, the safety of the whole mechanism. That doesn't look... There's so much going on this thing. Having a little bit of piston exposed doesn't look too out of place. Oh, dang it. Because I repasted it, the whole mirroring stopped. Well, I guess I mirror manually. So I have also back here at the back, I've done some changes to the missiles. I realized I don't need them as spread out as I was designing them, and I can actually, if each missile fits within a 1x1 block space, in order to, for example, fire out of a sliding door hatch, I may use these because they look better, I can stack them much closer together. So that means 6 missiles per side firing out of these hatches. And also means I can make this whole system a little more compact. I also realized I should probably have these piped, because I like having, well, I like having my missiles hydrogen, because hydrogen explodes. Now the actual missile building process is gonna suck. I also have this area, which I'm thinking have this and then one on the other side. That would be perfect little hangars. So I still have some space on board to, load stuff, captured loot and whatnot into safe and transportable areas. I don't quite know what to do with this space. I could fit more cargo, I could fit, I could fit fuel. I could, it feels a little too close to what would essentially be the, rear firewall. I could, got an idea here. I could give us more ion thrust at the back. And make that flush, which opens this up. So maybe this is a fly-through hangar. This whole sort of rear cargo area is going to be awkwardly tight in some places. Maybe if a door is there on each side. Oh, right. So, if I have a door there, I like having my airlocks all be the same door. Oh, nope, hold on. I deleted the wrong thing. I can do the thing I wanted to do. I like having my airlocks be all the same thing so that you know what sort of door you're opening. But these have these. So I can do that, have a half block. And if I use, wherever they are, if I use the half corridors, don't know how. Okay, that's the right orientation. Yeah, if I use these half corridors, there's still a terrifyingly awkward little pass-through with a tiny bit of storage. It's an awkward bit of pass-through. You can still come around, check out both sides of the cargo container. I'll probably cover up these welders, but they're there. And I can still have 2 airlocks that give me access to that rear hangar. Oh, and then, so I have these sort of awkward, I have a space above and below this level. I kind of want to put stairs in 4. The stairwell is going to be awkward. I don't know that that's going to be an open conveyor. In fact, there's going to be a lot of open conveyors, because that's how the piping has to be. Whatever. I'm going to go a direction I rarely go and say I don't care about aesthetics of this ship. Well, which is a lie. I do care, but I don't care enough to figure this stuff out. I'm just gonna let them be. So we now have stairs. I can use these stairs to get down to this lower level, which will have some stuff in it. I don't think this area will. Probably just gonna do that. But we can come down here. We can go up and be... That's sort of the cargo access and rear hangar access level. Then we ever so awkwardly clamber up. Realize we forgot some catwalks. And we're at this level. Alright, some hangar doors. Close this just for the aesthetics. Need to do a lot more interior work, but I think this thing's looking pretty good. It kind of reminds me of those, I think the Sunfish, they're big old sort of flat fish things with big fins on the top and bottom. I think they go the other way, but from front on, I think this is the Sunfish. If it looks like any other fish that's better, feel free to put that in the comments, but for now, Sunfish is at least the working title. So with that, thank you everybody so much for watching. Next week we're going to do some more work, probably get the missiles built. I'll do a lot of, in fact, I'm making a plan. I'm committing to it now. Next week I will have most of the interior done and ready to go. We will just be focused on designing an actual missile to fire out of it, and then we'll go and do some combat with those missiles. That's what's coming. So, thank you everybody again so much for watching. Feel free to check out my other stuff. You know, subscribe, ring bells, memberships, whatever the algorithm praises me to say. Until next week, bye-bye.